Hello, investors. It's Don Vandenbord, Chief Investment Officer with Revere Asset Management. Today is Wednesday, May 15th, 5:48 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you from St. Augustine Beach, Florida, with the Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state, we're in an uptrend, and that was certainly cemented today with a strong day in the market. Check the trend gauge over here. We see the coveted 4 green arrows, meaning market leadership is abundant, and all 5 of the major indexes are trending above the 3 time frames that we track. That's the short-term 21-day moving average, medium-term 50-day moving average, and long-term 200-day moving average. So after yesterday's nice gains, we came into this morning looking for the 8:30 a.m. CPI report, and it was slightly cooler than expected, and the market took off to the upside. Yields dropped, the dollar dropped, and after a little 30-minute sideways action at the open, stocks took off to the upside and leaders really flexed today. Just what you want to see for our style of investing. Here are the final numbers. The 21 over 21 list, 19 up for the second day in a row, up on average of 2.09%, none down, 2 basically flat. Big 8, this was the one area that lagged a bit today, only up an average of 0.91%, as 3 of the 8 were negative, Tesla being the worst, and also Amazon, Netflix barely negative on the day. So if anybody says, oh, it's 8 stocks, 7 stocks that are propping up the market, they're factually incorrect. The RG8, this is our 8 growth ETF composite, put in a nice day, up 1.5%, and led by the one we really prefer to see leading, the IBD 50 ETF, up 2.25%. Again, a sign of strength in leading stocks. S&P 500 gapped up 0.4%, ended up near the highs of the day, up 1.17%. Equal weight, not quite as strong, but still up 0.8. NASDAQ 100 up 1.56%. Again, not really led by the big 7 or big 8, but software and semiconductors had a really nice day today, leading that number. And equal weight up 1.2%. The Dow up 0.9. Mid caps up 0.66. Russell 2000 small caps gapped up 1.2. No real progress after that. Closed up 1.14. Global 60/40, both stocks and bonds up 0.94%. The return there in-house, our flagship portfolio, GROTECTION, up nicely 2.02%. Let's get into the charts. We'll start with the S&P 500, and you can see very clearly the gap higher to all-time highs and close near the high of the day. I don't know what bears are left hanging on to at this point, but you do need a certain amount of bearishness in the market. You can't have everybody on the same side of the boat, or there's nobody left to buy or sell if we're too far one side or the other. But I mean, this looks great. You got the 21-day moving average crossing up through the 50 yesterday and putting a little bit more distance between it today. So all the moving averages are configured the way we want them to be. Can't really ask for much more. I mean, they're all-time highs. What else could you ask for? Here you see the NASDAQ 100, the QQQ breaking above this flat base. All-time highs there as well. The NASDAQ composite made all-time highs yesterday. Dow Jones Industrial Average also eked out an all-time closing high just below that 40,000 level. S&P 400 mid-cap index just shy of an all-time high, but still up 0.66% on the day. And the Russell 2000 still well off its all-time highs, but clearing that 2100 level today. All right, that's the 5 major indexes. Let's get to our inter-asset correlation charts. We'll start off with the VIX. The VIX had been collapsing, and a big move down today, down 7%, making new recent lows, which coincides with the all-time highs, although still not as low as it was back in December. But this lack of volatility is certainly very bullish. The US dollar, you'll love to see a drop like this in the dollar. That failure at the 21-day moving average and a move further down today, that's a big move for the dollar, down almost 0.7%. How did that impact the precious metal complex? Well, gold with a nice day, up 1.3%. Gold stocks up 1.4%. Silver up 3.8%. Big move there. And Bitcoin also with a huge move. Finally overcoming that declining 21-day moving average and closing slightly above the 50-day, up 7.41% on the day. Let's get to bonds. On prices, gapping up and holding the gap, up 0.64% on the broad bond index. The long bond TLT up 1.36%. And you know, if the price is up, the yield is down. There's a dump below the 50-day moving average, down 1.7% on the 30-year, and the 10-year down 2%. Big move down there. All right, that's our inter-asset correlation segment. Let's get to the tail of the tape. You can pause this. I'll hit the highlights. CPI, month over month, cooler than expected. Year over year, in line. That spiked the futures and dumped yields. Also at 8:30, soft retail sales came out. That's actually in line with what the Fed wants to see if they want to get closer to cutting rates. Up 8 out of the last 10 days. 10 days above the 8-day exponential moving average, 9 above the 21-day moving average. All-time highs there, as I mentioned. From a sector standpoint, 11 out of 11 of the S&P sectors positive today. The weakest was staples, just barely positive, but led by semiconductor, software, and then XLK. Big component there is semis and software. Utilities, medical, and real estate. On the downside, the dollar, oil services, and retail. Our GROTECTION portfolio change, we bought Nail with the drop down in rates and the breakout of home builders. And we did some offensive selling today, FNGU getting extended to the upside. So we booked the gain on that. Bottom line on the day, CPI sparks a broad rally, leading stocks really flexing today. All-time highs for the big cap indexes. All-time highs are not bearish. Let's take a look at a couple of stocks. We got the 21 over 21 up here. We'll sort it by what we own and go through it. So First Solar, inside day today, but bouncing at that 21-day moving average. This is a stock that you really don't want to buy on strength. You can see how choppy it is. The best case is some sort of a shakeout and a hold of key moving averages. You can see all three instances going back over the last 4 weeks where it undercut, then reclaimed. The 21-day moving average were the best opportunities. If you bought it on strength, you always saw a pullback after that, especially over the past 2 weeks. But yesterday, ugly day, but bounced where it needed to at the 21-day. Nice recovery today, up 2.7%. FCX, copper, this was red most of the day, but closed with a flurry and slightly positive on the day. CEG, gap up to new all-time highs after breaking out of this flat base on its earnings report. VRT, and again, with you see the green arrow over here, these are all things that we own in the portfolio. VRT, data center rack cooling products in huge demand. Recent statements from their CEO reiterating what a big opportunity they have in front of them. Up almost 6% on the day, clearing the 100 level. Gold stocks, we already showed this. GDX, nice move here today. Kava also red most of the day, but closed just barely positive by the end of the day. NVIDIA, big move breaking out of this really nice bear flag coming up to the top of the flat base, up 3.6%. Micron following through to the upside, up 2.4%. Pure Storage, back-to-back strong days on above average volume, up 5.6%. CrowdStrike, our largest position, continues to power through off of the moving averages, up 4.1% today. Carrier Global, slight gain, up 1.3%. Nail, ITB and several home builders breaking out today. This clearing this little flag that it was putting in at the 21-day moving average and breaking strongly above the 50-day with volume. And Bitcoin clearing the 50-day moving average today. Let's fly through the rest of the portfolio here. CCJ, this is one of the ones that was flat on the day in the 21 over 21 list. Coupang up 1.2%. Goldman Sachs continuing to power higher. American Express minor gains today. GE Vernova faded as the day went along, but still a nice gain. TMDX continues to power higher. Howmet bouncing off this 80 level. Abercrombie and Fitch working its way higher to the top of a flat base. Nutanix, nice bounce off the 21 yesterday and breaking out of that double bottom base today on above average volume. And finally, AppLovin bouncing at that 80 level. That's the 21-21 list, including what we own. So there's 23 altogether and some great looking stocks. And remember, it's a diversified list. We've got 12 different sectors in here. You don't have to get your diversification by going to emerging markets or international or bonds or real estate. You can get your diversification in the good old US by investing in the leading stocks and the leading sectors. And with that, I'm going to wrap it. As always, like to hear from you. The email is don@revereasset.com. If you're interested in becoming a client, you're keeping my partner Dan busy, and we like that. He can be reached at dan@revereasset.com. The phone is 855 Real Wealth. That's 855-732-5932. Remember, our flagship portfolio is named GROTECTION because it's designed to grow assets in uptrends, protect them during downtrends. You saw the way we raised cash diligently as we broke the 21 and the 50-day moving average. Luckily held this 100-day moving average, and now a very nice move up over the last 2 weeks. We got our exposure up as we got good feedback from the leading stocks that we were in, and that's how we roll here at Revere. Reminder, I'll be on IBD Live 9:15 Eastern time Friday morning. You do have to subscribe. Google IBD Live, and it's $10 for 3 months for a trial that they have going on if you want to enjoy 2 hours with me and the fantastic crew on IBD Live. And with that, I'll wrap it for Wednesday, May 15th. This is Don Vandenbord with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thanks for listening and have a great day.